Grab a drink and let's get caught up on knitting stuff from November. I've got just a couple of finished objects, just a little bit of yarn, but a lot of hopes and dreams. Before we totally dive in, I just want to say a really big thank you to everyone who's been tuning in lately, because since my last video, I have hit 1,000 subscribers. That is blowing my mind, honestly. Just a big thanks to everybody who's been tuning in lately. I can't comprehend it, but thank you. I'm just really glad you're here. So with that said, let's chat about all things knitting from November. It's 4 p.m. and I'm having a cup of coffee. Caffeine does not keep me awake. I think sometimes it can even make me a little bit sleepy. So tell me if you can also drink coffee at ungodly hours of the day. All right, elephant in the room. We have my diamond sweater, or what's left of it. And also the start of my second diamond sweater. Yeah, I frogged it. I frogged, well, clearly not the whole thing, but I frogged most of it because I am redesigning it. I talked a little bit about this in a short last week, so you might have seen that, but for some more context, I decided that I hated the design. It wasn't fitting the way that I wanted it to. In my mind's eye, I felt like Rory Gilmore in that big sweater. It was like, not in a cute way either. It was like really frumpy and oversized, just droopy. And that's not what I wanted. I wanted something with positive ease. I like oversized sweaters, but this just wasn't landing. Not only that, but I could tell that the neckline was going to be too wide, because just as a refresher, I was making a bottom up raglan in the round. As I was doing those raglan decreases to get up to the neckline, I could just tell that the neckline was going to be too wide. If I continued decreasing to where the neckline was going to get smaller, it would have been way too long. And on top of that, even after all of the work I did to swatch and figure out those decreases and how to make this diamond stitch kind of work alongside those decreases, I didn't like how they looked. They just stood out too much on the design. I felt like they were really distracting, and rather than being an elegant solution to shaping, they were an unintentional design feature. I just really wasn't liking how that looked. So I went back to the drawing board and I decided to change the construction to a top-down drop shoulder, which, you know, there's like 1,000,001 sweaters out there that are top down and drop shoulder. For that reason, like originally that was one of the things that was kind of pushing me towards doing a raglan design. So I was like, oh, it could be cute and a little different. You know, it would be nice to not have to figure out how to do this pattern from the wrong side. That was hanging me up. I think I knew from the beginning that the drop shoulder was going to actually work better with this design. I knew that I also would have liked the look more because that's the construction and the look that I prefer in my own sweaters. I just ignored that for the sake of trying to do something a little different than my usual. And I don't think that's a good enough reason to do something. This stitch pattern wasn't working with that, and I was trying to force something that wasn't working. So I learned a lesson there. I had a gut feeling from the start and I ignored it. There were a lot of other hurdles along the way, and you know, I'm proud of myself. I did a lot of problem solving. In the end, I feel like there were too many little compromises along the way that just led to me having a sample that I was really unhappy with. I tried it on one last time, immediately started unraveling. I think it all happened in a span of 5 minutes. I tried it on, looked at myself in the mirror and said, wow, that is heinous. Okay, took it off, didn't even take pictures or anything. I kind of wish I had a picture so I could at least like show you, but I didn't even want to be reminded that it ever existed. So what did I do next? I did some sketches. I also looked back at my old sketches where I had actually drawn a couple of drop shoulder variations, including one that had some additional contrast color details around it. There was some kind of welting on the cuffs and the hem and the collar, and I just incorporated the contrast color a little bit more. And I was like, you know what? That's another thing that I didn't like about this sample was I felt like this diamond lattice design is just kind of floating because I wasn't liking how contrasty the cuffs and the hem and the collar were going to look. It was just like burgundy and then this light pink, which is so light that it almost looks white. This is not white yarn, it's pink. So I went back, looked at my old sketches, decided that I would incorporate the contrast color a little more as well. So hopefully the two colors were more enmeshed and it wasn't just a random lattice design over the base color. So when I started my second sample, I did the first few rows in contrast color. And if you can see there, I have a gradual slope for the shoulder, which gradual sloping was something that was really tricky on the first sample. I wasn't really able to do it in a way that looked nice, at least. Now I have figured out a way to do that thanks to deciding to incorporate the contrast color a little more. I already feel great about that. I know that this is kind of a design change and some people might not love it as much, but I do. And I think that that's the important thing. I got really excited about the front, so I also started one of the front pieces. Overall, I just feel way more excited about this, which is also another good sign. I was really losing my excitement for the raglan version. I think I even said in my last couple of knit chat videos that I put the sample down and like didn't touch it for 2 months, which was kind of a bad sign, especially considering the fact that I was almost done with it. I really should have taken a moment to reflect when I realized that that was happening. I could have come to this point a little sooner. But that's okay. This won't be coming out until next year, but I feel much better about it. And I want it to be a better pattern. I want it to be a design that I really truly like and don't have a low level disdain for. I still haven't decided on the ribbing design. I feel like I might want to incorporate the contrast color in some way. I don't know if I'm going to do striped ribbing or if I want to do corrugated ribbing. If you have any opinions on that at all, please let me know. I've reached the point of numbness with this project. I think I just feel like I have decision fatigue. So that's the diamond sweater update. Okay, I have one more finished object. Da 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 da. This is my new beloved little handbag that I made. It is knit with only scrap yarn. It's knit in 1x1 rib. It's got a really cute shape when there's more stuff in it. And it looks a little different on both sides. I'm obsessed. I also incorporated some sewing. I have a pretty little zipper there and I made a lining for it as well. I did not use a pattern for this. This is actually for a challenge video that I uploaded a couple weeks ago, which is doing pretty well. So thank you everyone who's been leaving really nice comments on that. But it's a dupe of a $3,000 little knitted Miu Miu bag. I want to say that's an insane price to charge, but also knitting takes a long time. I think that maybe a big brand like that shouldn't be charging so much, but an individual creator, yes. I don't know. So I got this bag done in less than 3 days. I might have even done this in 2 days. I think I just took 3 to film and filmed my final shots for the 3rd day. I think that's actually what happened. So 2-day knitting project, insane. I used 8mm needles and the tension's really tight, so it's a nice sturdy fabric. There is some cotton, some acrylic, and some wool, and just like a little bit of mohair. I don't know why I put mohair in this. It really didn't need any help looking fuzzy. This is probably one of my favorite things I've ever made. I am obsessed with it. Yeah, if you want to go check it out, I will leave a link in the description and also put one of the little info thingies in one of these corners. Okay, I have one more work in progress to share with you. I am losing the daylight. I'm really sorry about that. Enjoy the moody lighting. That's all I have to say. Let's see if I can take this out of this bag without losing my needles. I have a stripy little concoction here, but I am working on a winter version of my first ever published pattern, which I will do my best to help you visualize. I doubt any of you have been around long enough to remember this, but I had this cute little neck scarf situation that I put out as my first pattern, and I just thought it was the cutest little thing. It's knit in garter stitch with 2 colors. It's the perfect little project for scrap yarn. You can tie it on your bag, you can put it in your hair, wear it as a headband, tie it around your neck. I call it a scarf, but really it's more like a twilly. I'm like, you know what? If it's a scarf, maybe it should also keep you warm. So I'm knitting a winter version. It's going to be really wide because I love a big chunky scarf. Right now it's got 4 dark stripes. I think I'm going to have a total of 7. It's going to be super cozy, nice and long, and it's definitely not a scrap yarn project. I debated for a long time whether I was going to do tiny stripes that match the width of the original or if I was going to scale the scarf up completely. And I think I made the right choice. If I made each stripe the same like width, like the same number of rows as the original scarf, this would have had a lot more stripes, and I just don't think it would have had the same energy, especially considering this is knit in a different weight. It's going to be fun once I have both of them side by side, like don't talk to me or my son ever again energy. It's a really, really, really simple pattern, and you can also do it mindlessly. I've been just binging TV and movies, being cozy on the couch and knitting away at this. Very rarely do I have to check the pattern. The original scarf has a really special place in my heart, and I just just am looking forward to having a new updated warm version. It's going to be super fun and just a great addition to my pattern library. So if you want to check out the original pattern, I'll put a link down in the description below. I think I published it like in 2023 maybe, or early last year. I can't really remember. Either way, it is an old favorite of mine. Okay, yarn acquisitions. I have one. I only bought one type of yarn this month, which is great. That's not bad news, I think. I have so much yarn. I think it's actually not a bad thing to not get a ton of yarn every month, but I still have like a little something to share with you. Yeah, acrylic. I don't try to be like elitist about acrylic versus wool. I really don't. I think that they both have their strengths with different applications. Personally, I enjoy knitting with wool more. I find acrylic a little scratchy sometimes. I just don't like the sensory feeling of it like scraping on my needles. So yeah, I got 2 pounds of red acrylic yarn. This is for a very specific project, for a video. I am nervous and excited. There's going to be some sewing as well. It will be a designer challenge. It's recreating a runway look from a certain British designer, and this dress appeared on the cover of a certain fashion magazine. If you think you can guess exactly what that'll be, comment down below. I can't wait. This is going to be really fun. It's also going to be a lot of knitting. Like a lot of knitting and a lot of I-cord, I think, too. Let me know. Let me know what you think I'm going to be making next. I've never knit with this yarn before, so I hope it goes well. I'm really impressed by the quality. Like, this was really cheap, and it's not the scratchiest acrylic yarn I've ever felt. It's actually kind of soft. This project is on the bigger side, I think. I was thinking about seeing if I could possibly make this work with my knitting machine just to make it a little faster. I know there's a way you can use thicker yarn on a standard gauge knitting machine by knitting with like every other needle, although I've never tried that before, so that might just take more time. Oh, really? Are you with me? My camera is overheating, so I have to wrap this up soon. But as I was saying, I don't know. It might just take me longer to figure out how to do that on my knitting machine rather than just knitting this by hand. So I think I'm going to hand knit. I might even hold 2 strands together in order to get this knit up quickly. The gauge doesn't matter quite as much, so I can use some big chunky needles. Okay, so yeah, exciting project coming up soon. Keep your eyes peeled. I really should have worn a different sweater today. Okay, the sun is set. I have a caffeinated beverage to finish and some knitting to do. So thanks for tuning in. Tell me down below what you have been working on. If you've been watching any good shows lately, thanks for sitting down and chatting with me. And I will catch you guys in the next one.